Hello, rideshare friends, passengers, and drivers. This is Henri, aka No, It's Not Henry, and today I'm going to be presenting to you 5 tips and or suggestions for Lyft and Uber passengers. Stay tuned, and there might be a little bonus tip at the end of the video. All right, so first things first. First tip for, again, this is just for passengers, not for drivers. So first tip or suggestion for Lyft and Uber passengers is please try to use, use your real name, okay? Because, as drivers, we're held to a certain standard. We have to, our real name is provided for you, our picture, we go through a verification process, a very soft background check, but nonetheless, who we are, vehicle we're driving, you have our license plate, you have all this information from us, and we know nothing about you. Lyft and Uber does not require you to put a picture, and they don't even require you to use your real name. So, I can't tell you how many times I've picked up people with random names. I've picked up Kitty Cat and Diamond and just all kind of foolishness, and it's just like, it's silly, because just put your real name in. At some point in time, hopefully, Lyft and Uber take steps to requiring passengers to not only put in their real name, but I'm hoping to require putting in a picture as well, because, it should be a two-way street. Second tip or suggestion for Lyft and Uber passengers is please rate your driver. It's the simplest thing. The ride is finished, you get a notification. It's one of the first things you see when you go back to your phone. The ride is complete. Just rate your driver. If they were terrible, then rate them as such. But if you got great service, you got good service, rate your driver. Rate them a 5, because that's what because as most passengers are given 5s just off the bat. We have to go back in to change the rating as necessary, because if not, it's just going to auto-populate a 5. But just understand that it's just as important for you to rate your driver, because that's the standard from which we're graded. And don't just rate your driver low because you feel that something didn't go as you planned. If your driver didn't offend you in any way and the ride went well, I just feel like it's the simplest thing is to go back in there and rate your driver accordingly. And the third tip or suggestion for Lyft and Uber passengers, we don't want to hear your music, okay? So these are our vehicles. Now, if you have a suggestion, if you want to listen to a certain type of music or a certain artist, by all means, I have no problem, popping on my, my Spotify, which I generally have a playlist going anyway. Something that I created, just across the board, very appropriate, nothing offensive. But I feel like if you have a request and you want to hear a certain artist or a certain type of music, that's fine. I got no problem kicking that on. But don't, once we get too far, people, they want to use your phone. Can I connect to the Bluetooth? I've heard all kind of things where, people are playing the most offensive music possible. And it's like, those are passengers. It's like, okay, come on, you don't know what kind of music your driver wants to or doesn't want to hear and what they might be offended by. So don't just assume oh yeah, I want to hear whatever I want to hear and they just have to deal with it. No. This is the driver's vehicle, and you're just along for the ride. Yes, you're paying a fee for it, but at the same time, it's a two-way street. They're offering you a service. You need to be, kind of respectful of that. And I'll use that to segue into my fourth tip or suggestion. Be respectful. Be respectful of your driver's property, their vehicle, and just it's overall, don't treat it like, it's some barn. Don't leave trash in the vehicle. Don't slam the door. Just simple things that, most people should know just not to do. Just be respectful of the vehicle, be respectful of the vehicle and its surroundings, and just treat it as if it was your own, because this is our vehicles and this is our business, so this is how we make money. We got to clean it. That costs money, so just take that in consideration. And the fifth tip I have, which, some of these things should really go without saying, this one in particular, don't scam drivers. It seems like something is like, why should you have to mention that? But people are out here trying to get free rides, you know, on the Lyft and Uber platform. They're trying to get free rides. They're trying to scam. They're trying to end rides early. You know, they're trying to, you know, fit in as many passengers as they can. They're trying to fit 6 people or 5 people into a four seatbelt car, or they, you know, they're bringing in kids, you know, that don't have car seats, but that's a different story. You know, don't scam your driver, because this is how a lot of us are earning our living. And it's not fair for you to, just because you want to try to get a free ride, rate the driver a 1, say the car was filthy or your driver was offensive, or they were under the influence of alcohol or driving recklessly. You know, that's not right, because, you know, too much of that, and then the driver gets deactivated from the platform and they can't drive anymore, and their livelihood is now affected. It's effectively like them losing their job. And that's not right. That's not right. Just because you want to get over and you want to get a free ride, it's not right for you to go, you know, try to scam the system out of a free ride. You might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm getting over on Lyft or I'm getting over on Uber. No, you're screwing that driver potentially out of their livelihood. So I take that in consideration before you want to scam and try to get a free ride. Think about your driver and their livelihood. How would you feel if somebody came down to your job and tried to get you fired? That's basically how I feel, how, you know, everybody should be looking at it. And I will give everybody a bonus tip. This here was a bonus tip coming. So our bonus tip is, if you are, and that's really out of focus. Bonus tip is, if you are thinking about tipping your driver, and, you know, again, I don't take any rides expecting to get a tip, because, you know, it's not that I feel like just because people don't tip, but I just feel like I'm providing a service and I'm getting a fee for the ride, and that's my payment for the ride. If I give exceptional service or a good conversation, or people just like, you know, like my car, they like the cleanliness of it. If I give them a safe ride, if they feel like they want to tip me, that's just icing on the cake. I don't take a ride looking to get a tip. I just feel like that's an expectation that's kind of setting yourself up for failure, and I feel like just putting yourself in a bad mood unnecessarily. But the tip is, if you're thinking about tipping your driver and you're questioning whether to tip them on the app or to tip them in cash, go with the cash. And I say that because, you know, if you have the cash to give and you're considering which one to do cash. Because yes, you know, for Lyft, I can't really speak for Uber, but I know for Lyft, yes, all the tips go 100% to the driver. But guess what? At the end of the year, we have to, you know, put down on the taxes those tips as income. Cash is cash, so there's no way to track it. So tip your driver in cash if you can. If you're thinking about tipping, if you have the option and you're like, should I give him some cash or should I give him or her on the app? I have both. I have both as an option. Go with the cash. 10 times out of 10, if you can. And that's it. Those are my 5 tips plus a bonus and suggestions for Lyft and Uber passengers. And my name is Henri, aka No, It's Not Henry. And everybody have a wonderful day, and I catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.